but it will also come in a way that you would never expect it to come. When I wanted to manifest £150, I never once thought it was going to come. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about manifesting techniques, and in particular I'm going to be talking about something called scripting. So as a disclaimer, I've said this before, for me it's about the law of assumption, not the law of attraction. So for me it's all about your beliefs and what you assume to be real, and that is what allows you to experience whatever it is you're trying to experience in your 3D world. So when it comes to techniques such as scripting, which I'm going to talk about, it's not the scripting itself, it's not the fact that you have scripted that manifests for you, it's your belief in the scripting and your belief in the fact that doing this particular thing is going to then allow you to manifest and experience whatever it is you're trying to experience. And it's also like all techniques are there, all they're there to do is to get you into the feelings that you would feel if you already had the thing you're trying to manifest, because that's the whole point. Like, you need to feel like you already have that thing, because everything is happening now. Like it might be hard to understand, and it is hard to understand because we work with something called psychological time, which is the clock. You know, you have 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever, but time itself, like, everything happens right now. There's no other time than right now. Whether you're thinking about the past or thinking about the future, it's all happening right now. You're thinking about it now. So whatever it is you're trying to manifest, you already have it. If you can see it in your mind, you already have it. You are perceiving your future self to already have it, but that is happening now. But for you to get, I know this might sound complicated, but for you to like experience it in your 3D, like through your eyes, through your perception, you need to get to a point where you believe it and you feel it so much it just feels natural to you, because the only things that you can experience in this 3D world are things that feel natural to you. So the techniques get you to a stage where it feels natural, where it already feels real. You don't think that you're like trying to get to that thing, and then it will allow you to actually experience it in your 3D world. So that's just a little disclaimer. Let's get straight to it. Basically, what scripting is you can do it in various ways. I'll talk about how I've done it and things that have worked for me, but again, there's so many different ways that you can do it. You need to find out what works for you, what feels more natural to you. Scripting itself might not even feel natural to you, and that's fine. There's loads of other things that you can do, and the bottom line is you don't actually need techniques, but I'm going to explain certain techniques because I know for certain people, and especially for me, when I was like starting out with all of this, and I did start off with all like the law of attraction stuff and things like that, I definitely was in the mindset of, oh my gosh, I need to do a technique, and doing the techniques itself will give you more confidence in your own manifesting ability, but eventually you'll reach a stage where you don't need to use techniques. So when it comes to scripting, you basically get a piece of paper. You can have, like, I like to have a particular book that is dedicated to like all my manifestations and things like that. Pick a book that, you know, I don't know, looks nice, feels nice, makes you feel excited, makes you feel nice. I mean, again, having a particular book is not going to make any difference. You could write it down on a scrap piece of paper, but it's just about getting you into like I don't know, like an excited and just like a nice feeling, right? So you get your book, you get your piece of scrap paper. Like, let's say, for example, I wanted to manifest a particular job, right? You would get your piece of paper and you could write, I'm so grateful now that I have my, and you need to be specific about whatever job that it is. If you are let's just say you're just trying to manifest a job in general, you don't care what it is, then obviously stay general and just say job, and maybe be specific about how much you get paid, or maybe the area, or if not, and you genuinely just want any job, it doesn't matter, then you could just say job. If you were being very specific, you wanted a specific job at a specific company, or you wanted a specific pay, like paycheck or amount that you want to be paid, then you would write, for example, I'm so grateful now that I work at whatever the place is. I'm so grateful now that I get paid X amount. You know, I love working there. It's amazing working there. The people there are amazing. I love my job. I'm so grateful now that I have my job, right? I don't want to say this for you to like force the feelings, but one of the main things with manifesting is feelings get you, if you can already feel the emotion of what it is that you're trying to manifest, you're going to experience it. Feelings are very, very powerful, and to your subconscious mind, if there's a feeling, it's easier for you to impress whatever that is onto your subconscious, and then therefore you'll end up experiencing it because to the subconscious mind, it doesn't know if whatever it is you are telling it or imagining it is real or not. Like, it doesn't have that same way that your conscious mind, let's say, knows that you might just be imagining or that thing hasn't happened yet. To your subconscious, there's no telling the subconscious whether it's happening now or it's going to happen. Like, there's no way for it to know. So if you can apply feelings to it, your subconscious is just going to accept that, and it's going to want to, repeat that for you, and therefore through the law, you're going to end up experiencing it in your 3D world, which is why the techniques help with getting you to that place of feeling like it's already happened, because it has already happened. If it's happened in your mind, it is already real. And then you can end up experiencing it in your 3D. So once you've scripted, so there's various ways you can do this. You can either read it aloud to yourself every single day, once a day, twice a day, but make sure when you're reading it, you're not just reading it, like just literally reading it. Try to like evoke the emotions, play the scene in your head of whatever it is that you're reading. Imagine whatever it is that you've written down, imagine it as you're reading it. Try and feel the emotions and like bring up the emotions. I've said in another video as well, if you need help getting yourself to like the emotion stage and feeling the emotions of whatever it is you're trying to feel, listen to a piece of music that makes you feel that way while you're doing it, because it will already evoke those particular emotions within you. And then while you're reading it to yourself, reading it aloud, you can read it in your head as well if you don't want to be loud in your house, but just make sure the main thing is when you're reading it is to have emotions, and if you can, try and visualize it at the same time. So you can do this every single day, and what will happen is you'll probably get to a point where you start to feel like, I don't really want to do this anymore. I don't really want to have to read it every day. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, because then it lets you know that you're getting to the stage where like you just already feel like this has already happened, this is already happening. You don't have that urge or desire to do it, and then eventually it will come to you. Or you can write this down, read it to yourself once, put it away, and literally just, I say forget about it. Of course you're going to remember, but just don't touch it, and just put it away. Okay, so, and then a couple of things. While you're doing this, and with anything you're trying to manifest, there will be times when you will just get like a sudden intuitive thought, like you'll be compelled to do something, some thought, some feeling, something will literally just like come to you, and you'll suddenly just feel like I feel like I need to do this. Follow that, because that is probably going to be the bridge of incidents that will lead you to that manifestation. And you'll know that it's like in something called inspired action, which are these actions that they come from within, and it's leading you to your manifestation, because you won't even, it will literally just come to you. It won't feel like a force thought. You won't even question it. If like you might normally just come up with an idea, you might then be playing around with it in your head, like, oh, should I do it, should I not? if you're feeling like that, that thought is probably from your ego, and it's not inspired action. If a thought just comes to you and you get excited about it and you're like, you really want to go and do it, and you know, it will literally just come to you out of nowhere. It could come to you when you're meditating, it could come to you in your day, it could come to you as just like a passing thought, but it might potentially be related to whatever it is you're trying to manifest. Follow that, and it will end up leading you to your manifestation, or at least onto the right course of your manifestation. Another thing to note is that you don't need to worry about how it's going to come to you. How it's going to come, your higher self will decide that. Like, your higher self knows everything, knows how things are put together, knows how things are going to work. It's not for you to worry about. As soon as you try to like meddle in it and you try to force certain things, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do particular action towards it. So let's say, for example, you're trying to manifest a specific job, you would still need to probably go and apply for the job, or apply for jobs in general, or I don't know, if it's something to do with like a car, you'll still need to go and, you know, make money and do whatever you're doing. It doesn't mean that you just do this and then you literally just sit there. You still have to do work, but you don't have to force anything. You don't have to force your way to do certain things, and you don't have to meddle in it. Like, there's nothing you have to worry about. All you need to do is select the desire, make yourself feel as if you already have that desire, and it will come to you. An example I have for me, I mainly have used scripting when it comes to money, and it might have just been like a while ago when I just wanted to, I was just playing around with it. I was just playing around and just seeing, you know, I just wanted to do it as a little fun thing. Let me just see how I can manifest this money and see what way it comes to me. Because I always find how it comes to you is always, it's always so, like, to me, it's always just so fun to see, and to see that, for me, I never would have guessed it would come to me in this way. I never could have guessed it would come to me in this way. Yeah. So for me, I wanted to manifest, I just decided £150. Another little thing I'm going to add, if you're starting out with manifesting, I would suggest doing something that feels more in your reach. So you can have whatever you want. If you wanted to manifest $1 million, you could manifest $1 million. However, if you're at a stage where you've never manifested something, or you're unsure about this, or you're not 100% like there when it comes to believing in your like abilities and what you can create, I would start off with something that feels more natural to you. So if $1 million right now to you seems like, oh my, like it makes you feel anxious, like, oh my gosh, how could I ever manifest $1 million? Then start with something that seems more natural to you. If it's a particular job that in your mind right now, you're just like, I don't really see that happening, start with something that you feel as if you could do now. And that's not to put limits on yourself, because like I said, you can do whatever you want. It will just be easier for you, and you'll build up your confidence that much more if you start with things that seem naturally more attainable for where you're at now. And there's nothing wrong with that. With this whole creation and manifesting thing, it's like a muscle, and it's best for you to try and like build it up and build up your confidence. And then when you're at a stage where you just know straight off the bat you can have and do whatever you want, then start going for those bigger things. But yeah, so anyway, off on a tangent, I decided I wanted to manifest £150. So I literally wrote, I wish I had the piece of paper. I didn't know I was going to be making these videos, or I would have kept it for you guys, and I would have kept all the things that I'm going to explain, but I don't have them anymore. So you just have to take my word for it. But I think I wrote something like, I'm so grateful now that I receive £150. Like, it is done. I'm so grateful for the £150 that I receive, something like that, right? And then I literally just put it in a drawer, and I just completely, not completely forgot about it. Of course, it was on my mind for like a few days, but I just put it in the drawer. I never looked at it again. It would pop into my mind every now and then. Another thing, when whatever it is you're trying to manifest, when that thought pops into your mind, just tell yourself and feel like it is done. It's done. I don't need to worry about it. I don't need to stress about it. Like, it's done, and leave it at that. So anytime I think about the money, I'll just think it's done, whatever, forget about it. I don't know the exact time frame because, like I said, I didn't keep things, but I believe it was probably about a month or so later. The first thing was I got an email. Well, everyone at my workplace got an email from the manager saying that she was going to be giving all of us like £100 bonus this month for, you know, all our hard work during COVID and all this kind of stuff, right? And then when I saw that, I was like, okay, and this is another thing, you need to stay true to whatever it is you're trying to manifest. Yes, £100 came to me, but I didn't write £100, I wrote 150. So when I saw that, I was grateful and I was thankful, you know, I had gratitude, I was thankful that I'm getting the £100, but I said to myself, I said 150, not £100. Anyway, forgot about that. Then a few weeks to about a month later, I come home and there's a letter from my bank, and they had said to me in the letter something about how, so maybe about when I was in university, so about 2-3 years ago, you know, when like you have your overdraft, and then if you go over your overdraft, they would like charge you certain amounts for going over your overdraft. And I used to get like, when I was in uni, anyway, I used to get like charges where they would charge me quite a bit for going over my overdraft, because on the app at the time, it would make it seem as if you had a certain amount available, but it hadn't taken into account anything else that you had spent. So for me, I would think I have X amount available that I can spend. I'm then spending it. Then the next day, everything then comes out, and then I'm over my overdraft. So I'm getting charged for that, right? And they were charging me quite a bit. Anyway, so in the letter, they had said, we noted that, you know, they didn't say a few years ago, but back in whatever year it was, that we'd overcharged you for going over your overdraft. And they had mentioned the thing about the app. So they were like, you know, we're going to refund you the charges that I was overpaying, and it happened to be £157. And when I tell you, like, the feeling of that, it was such a good feeling, because it was like I stayed true to the fact that I wanted to manifest £157. And for me, like I said, I personally didn't look at it every single day. I knew I'd written that. Anytime money came into my head, I just said to myself, it is done. When the £100 came, I still said no. I said £150. You know, thank you, but I said £150. And then I get this check from my bank, which I would totally not expect. Something that happened years and years ago. Like, there is no reason for them to be doing that now, of all times. Like, this was like 2-3 years ago. Within that time frame, they easily could have sent me that letter ages ago. And this is what I mean by, like, it will come to you in a way that is natural, because, you know, of course they're probably going to be looking over those things and, you know, and whatever, but it will also come in a way that you would never expect it to come. When I wanted to manifest £150, I never once thought it was going to come from my bank refunding me for overcharging me for using my overdraft. So yeah, all I can say is try it for yourself. Like I said, scripting may not be for everyone. If it doesn't allow you to get to a place where you just believe it's going to happen, then maybe, you know, scripting might not be for you, and there's other techniques that you can use. But yeah, try it and see, and let me know in the comments if, you know, what you may have already manifested through scripting, or if you decide to try this technique, let me know what you manifest. But yeah, always remember that you create your reality, and I will see you guys in the next video.